Okay, sixth graders, it is Wednesday, so we are going to now turn to the next open page in your notebook, write the date, and today we're going to talk about multiplication. I know for a lot of you it's one of your favorite things, but if you're still struggling with multiplication, we got to be working on our flashcards. We got to know our basic common facts, because that will make your life a whole lot easier from here on out. Okay? We got to work on that multiplication. We have to know it. So remember, the result when multiplying numbers is called the product. So our product is the result of multiplication. Okay? I know we talked about the sum being the result of addition, the difference being the result of subtraction, and now we have the product as the result of multiplication. So you have learned many ways, right? But I want you to see, so 2 times 3. A lot of you have seen 2 times 3, right? Or 2 times 3, that way. We are going to try and avoid our x's a bit, because eventually we'll have to get rid of them, but it's okay if we still use them a tad. You can also, 2 times, 2 times 3, right? You can also use a dot. Now the dot isn't down where the period would go, it's up in the middle. So we could write 2 times 3 this way, and we can also use parentheses. So we could write it this way, we could write it this way, and we could write it this way. So we need to know that a dot, a parenthesis, and the x there all mean to multiply. Those are ways that it can be written as, okay? Now we are going to practice our multiplication. I know some of you have learned different methods of doing it, and if those work for you, that is totally fine. But we are going to be focused on the standard way to multiply and see if you have any questions that way. So our first example, 16 times 14. We just put it in our calculator, right? No. Remember, this could also be 16 times 14 this way. I want to show you how I do this by hand. First, we start in our ones column. We say 4 times 6 is 24. So we bring down the 4, but then we have to carry the 2. So then we say 4 times 1, not 4 times 2. 4 times 1 is 4. Then we add 2. So 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Now before we move on to the tens, we need to hold its place here with a 0. Now we're going to say 1 times 6 is 6, and 1 times 1 is 1. Don't add that 2 again. You've already added it before. Now you're going to add these numbers like we did yesterday. Okay? They might get a bit harder. You might have something like 219 times 847. That's a bit harder. So I'm going to write them vertically. Then I'm going to go 7 times 9. You got to know these quick, guys. If you don't know your finger trick, remember anything times 9, we can put down that numbered finger. So we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 6 on the left and 3 on the right. So we're at 63. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 6 is 13. 14, 15. So I did 7 times 2 plus the 1, remember, to get the 15. Now, before I move on to that 4, I have to hold the place of it because it's in the tens place. 4 times 9, I can cross those up, is 36. So there's your 9 trick again. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 3 on the left, so 30, and 6 on the right, so 36. Carry the 3. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. 4 times 2 is 8. Now before we move on to the 8, I'm going to hold its value because it's in the hundreds place, so I need 2 zeros. 8 times 9, here's our 9 trick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got, oh, I went too far because it's 8 times 9, so I'm stopping at 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 7 on the left and 2 on the right, so that's 72. So our 2 goes here, and we carry our 7. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 1, 8 times 1 is 8 plus 7 is 15. And then we have 8 times 2 is 16 plus the 1 is 17. Now we have to add all of these up like we did yesterday. So all of our place values are perfectly in line. We have 3. Do you see how important it is to neatly do this? Alright, you should be able to do this. Now, in addition to doing that, I want you to be able to understand a word problem. So if a factory manufactures 1,256 cars each month, in a factory, and there are 32 factories manufacturing the same amount of cars each month, find the total number of cars. So 32. Again, we have a total. This is a lot like the sum, right? But we know if there are 32 factories, we can't just add 32 factories to the number of cars. Sorry. Whew. Slow down, Mrs. Law. We can't just add the number of factories to the number of cars to get our total number. That's not a sum. We want to know how many total, if each of these factories are making 1,256 cars. So that is a multiplication problem. So we're going to write 1,256 cars times each factory, and we know we have 32 factories. All right, I want you to pause your video. Give this a go. Try it on your own. If you don't pause your video, you're only cheating yourself. I want you to see where you're struggling so you know, okay? All right, so remember, 2 times 6 is 12. We're carrying the 1, 10, 11. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 2 times 1 is 2. We have to hold the 3's place because it's in the tens place. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 3 times 1 is 3. Remember, then we add 2, 9, 11, 10, 4. If you're not adding very quickly, gotta be working on those flashcards. All right, so what is this? Is this the number of factories or is this the number of cars? You're right. So this is the number of cars each month at all of the factories. So then if I said, all right, well, if that's how many for each month, how many for each year? What would you have to multiply it by then? How many months are in a year? You got it. So multiply by 12. I want you to pause your video and try it. Okay, good. You did 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 2 times 0. Remember, we just write 0. We have to hold its place. We can't skip it. 2 times 4 is 8. Now we have to hold the value of the 1 here because it's in the tens place. And we're just going to repeat this number up here because we're multiplying it by 1. Any number multiplied by 1 keeps its identity and stays the same. Now I want you to pause your video and add it. You should have got an 4, 10, 13, 2, 8, 4. So a total of 482,304 cars each year. Cool, guys? Alright, so do your Google form, check out your assignment, let me know if you have any questions.